There's been a lot of misconception about how budgets are prepared for the national teams. Okay, so we have, let me go through some of the process and then I'll address the question in that context. Usually the budgets are prepared at the FA. So these are indicative. So, based on historical reference. For example, in this scenario when the Black Stars were preparing to go to the tournament, some of the key variables that goes into preparation will be buying tickets for the players. Most of the players are coming offshore. So when the coach indicated earlier that the training tour will be in Johannesburg, you make the assumptions that all the players will be flying. Some will fly to Ghana because they were on break, and then you buy them tickets from Ghana to Johannesburg. Some will fly maybe directly from their where they are based to Johannesburg. So in that scenario, that is part of the major cost. And then you also have to factor in that if they were flying from Johannesburg to the tournament, that will also be a chartered flight. Chartered flights are very expensive for that matter. And then you factor in where they'll be based in terms of the hotel, transportation, feeding, the medical logistics, everything that bonuses. And bonuses are the biggest part of the whole budget. About 70% of the budget, mainly bonuses. So that is only one component of the budget that is being built. And then you build on, after they fly to Abidjan, the fifth CAF covers a portion of the stay. I think it's about 40. But beyond 40, and the contingent is about 70, relatively, about 70 in all. So that additional numbers also have to be covered in terms of their stay, their feeding, transportation. It all has to be covered as well. And then you build on a model as on the basis that the game 1, game 2, game 3, there are bonus components that comes with the qualification. When they qualify, this is how much they make. And you also build an assumption. You build as if you are going there to win the tournament. So everything is built on the assumption that after the qualification, your next around 16, 18, quarterfinals, semifinals, and final. This is presented because you don't want to be in a situation where you are in the middle of competition and you are calling a Minister of Sports to say, wait a minute, we didn't plan. So it's better to be totally prepared in that scenario. So that is how it's done. You build from a ground zero all the way to the top. And that's what we've done. It's all indicative of what we think was going to happen. And when the FA is done, they scrutinize it they sit down with the ministry, scrutinize it, and when it's completed, we present it to them. So that is our job. Once that is done, as to the actual money which gets approved, as to the actual amount that is actually spent, the FA has no input in that. The FA does not receive any money from the ministry as to specifically to spend on any item. As a matter of fact, the ministry has an accountant, a purse holder, who is embedded in the team. So for every particular expenditure, they go to this accountant, and he also check on the budget. This is there, this is not there, this is there. So the perception that the ministry has spent 8.5 million. I mean, that's a perception. The actual money they spent, honestly, I don't think anybody in the FA knew because we didn't advance from our group stage. So I think it is very important to understand that from the FA perspective, once we prepare what we think is going to happen end to end and present it to the ministry, the onus is on the ministry as to how and where what is approved. We have no idea. Okay, so let's separate the two. And then the ministry have somebody embedded in the contingent for example, they will say, oh, we need to go and buy some spices. They have to go and justify that to the purse holder. He will look, okay, this is approved. So everything is by a line item based on the budget that is prepared. Now, I also want to debunk another misconception. You know, it's so sad sometimes people get on the media space and that start throwing numbers around. Nobody can tell me that Nigeria spent only 1.2, 1.5. It is fake news. I'm telling you, we know. It is fake. We communicate with them all the time. All the numbers that they are throwing about, they can say you can go, and they make it seem like it is so justifiable. You know, sadly, we sometimes kill our own self by virtue of, you know, releasing information, derogatory information, which may not necessarily be the right information. And it is important that you go to the source, into the ministry, and then they can tell you how much money they spent. For example, we didn't go to Joburg for the tournament. Does it mean that the money was spent? Obviously not. That money was not spent. You know, so we just have to be more circumspective about how we go about, you know, portraying ourselves, because in the end of the day, we are just sending the bad, negative press on our own product that we are trying to promote. From the FA perspective, every game that we play, every tournament that we go through a thorough process, putting all these the numbers together, and we present to the ministry, and it's the ministry's responsibility to seek the approval and to also decide what to spend on and what not to spend on. I think that's what I've given information about that. Thank you.